Hello student, in this lecture we are going to study the metamorphic rocks. As we know that the earth crust is made up of different types of the rocks. Okay, so the rocks are grouped into three different types. First is the igneous rock, second is the sedimentary rock, and third is the metamorphic rock. One type of the rock is slowly changes to the another type. Okay, some changes occurs in the rocks and they are changing from one type to the another type. Okay, so the rock cycle showing the relationship between these three types of the rocks: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Okay, so in the previous lecture we have studied the igneous rocks and sedimentary rock also. Now we are going to study the metamorphic rock. So let us see the definition of the metamorphism. The word metamorphism comes from the Greek. Meta means change and morph means form. Okay, so the metamorphism means change in the form. Okay, metamorphic rocks are those rocks which are formed as a result of transformation that take place in the pre-existing rock. Okay, means the if the transformations are taking place in the pre-existing rock, that may be a igneous rock or sedimentary rock. Okay, when the pre-existing rocks are subjected to the higher temperature, pressure, and the chemically active fluids, uh, means liquid or the gaseous, the minerals present in the original rock changes to the new environmental condition. Okay, so the term metamorphism indicates the transformation of the which is taking place in the pre-existing rock due to the higher temperature, pressure, and chemically active liquids or the gaseous. Okay, and this process is called all process is called as a metamorphism, and the rocks which are formed by this process of metamorphism is called as a metamorphic rock. Okay, here is a figure which is showing the different metamorphic rock. The slate is a metamorphic rock. Okay, second is a gneisses, is also as a metamorphic rock. The agents, now next point is the agents of the metamorphism. So the term metamorphism is express the process which are responsible for all the changes take place in the original rock under the influence of changes in the surrounding conditions of temperature, pressure, and the chemically active fluids. Okay, these agents means the metamorphic change in the rocks are primarily the result of three main factors that are called as an agents of the metamorphism. Okay, the factors which are responsible for this change occurs in the pre-existing rocks are called as an agents of the metamorphism. So which are the is agent? First one is in temperature, second is in pressure, and third one is in chemically active fluids. Okay, so these are called as an agents of metamorphism, are also called as in factors of metamorphism. Okay, now we will see each agents of metamorphism in detail. So first one is in temperature. Okay, first agent of the metamorphism is temperature. As we know that the rocks are made up of different types of the minerals which are stable at the temperature of 200 degree, below 200 degrees centigrade. All the rocks which are made up of the different types of the minerals are stable below 200 degree centigrade, and when the temperature around the rock changes, the mineral composition of this rock is also changes. As the temperature increase, okay, the mineral composition is also changes in order to adjust the new temperature condition. Okay, uh, then the two common sources of the heat which are responsible for this metamorphism are internal heat, and second one is the magmatic heat. Internal heat means what? It becomes operative when the rocks are formed at the surface, are pushed downwards due to the some geological process like folding, faulting. Okay, and second one is an uh, magmatic heat means when the magmatic intrusions like sill or dike invades the country rock from below, the host rocks around the margins of the intrusion suffers sudden or enormous change in their temperature. Okay, they are also in order to stable under the new condition. Okay, they are also transformed in order to stable under the new condition. This is how the temperature is responsible for the changes in the uh, occurs which in the sedimentary or the metamorphic sedimentary or the igneous rock. Second factor is the pressure. Many metamorphic changes induced in the rock due to the pressure. Okay, so any rock at some depth below the surface is subjected to the pressure at some depth. Any type of the rock is subjected to the pressure. The two types of the pressure are there. Means uh, that means the two sources are of the pressure are there. First is the load of the overlying burden, and second is due to the crustal movement during the convergence of the tectonic plate. Okay, so the pressure occurs due to the two different sources. First one is the load of that overlying burden, and second is due to the crustal movement during the convergence of the tectonic plates. Okay, the first type of the pressure acts generally in the vertical direction, means the load of the overlying burden is acting in the vertical direction, and the process of the change in the structure of the rock is called as a load metamorphism. The load of the overlying burden is act in the vertical direction, and the process of the change in the structure of the rock is called as a load metamorphism. Okay, this is how the pressure is responsible for the changes occurs in the parent rock. Now, third point is an chemical environment, or we can say the chemically active fluids. The presence or absence of any chemical fluids within the body of the rock or around them plays an important role in the process of all types of the metamorphism. कोई भी rock अगर means presence or absence of the chemically active fluids within the body of the rock or around them plays an important role in the process of all the types of the metamorphism. With the increasing temperature, the fluid undergoes expansion and becomes very active in breaking original crystal boundary. Okay, the fluid comes in contact with the surrounding minerals of the rock and produces many changes in their composition. Okay, and the new minerals which are created uh, that are stable in the changed condition. The process is called as an recrystallization, which are taking place essentially in the solid state. Okay, this is how the chemical environment means chemically active fluids uh, which are around this parent rock are responsible for the changes occurs in the rock. Okay, so this is the three agents of the metamorphism. Now our next point is the mineralogical composition of the metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock exhibit a great variation in their mineralogical composition, and that is depends upon the composition of the parent rock and the type and degree of metamorphism undergone by the rock. That means the mineralogical changes or the mineralogical composition is depends upon the two factors. That is means the composition of the parent rock. A parent rock may be a igneous or may be a sedimentary. And second is then type and degree of the metamorphism, which is undergone by that type of the rock. Okay, so depending upon this mineralogical composition are grouped into groups of the two broad groups of the minerals formed during this metamorphism are trace minerals and the anti-trace minerals. So what is meant by the trace minerals? Those minerals, the trace minerals are those minerals which are produced in the metamorphic rock chiefly under the stress factor, are known as trace minerals. Okay, means the metamorphic rock which are formed under the stress factor are called as trace minerals. Okay, and these are characterized by the flaky, platy, laminar, flattened and the elongated forms. For examples of these trace minerals are kyanite, muscovite, chlorite and some amphiboles. These are the examples of the trace minerals. Means the minerals which are formed under the stress factors. Next is an anti-stress minerals. Anti-stress minerals are these minerals of the which are produced primarily under the influence of temperature. Okay. The minerals of the means the metamorphic minerals which are produced primarily under the influence of temperature factor are called as an anti-stress minerals. Okay, the examples of these anti-stress minerals are olivine, many pyroxenes. Okay, these are the examples of these anti-stress minerals. These minerals are quite unstable under the high stress condition. Anti-stress minerals are unstable under the high stress conditions. Okay, so this is the all about the mineralogical composition of the metamorphic rock. Now our next point is the classification of metamorphic rock. The rocks are classified into two types depending upon uh, the composition and then mode of the origin. Metamorphic rocks have been variously classified on the basis of texture, structure, degree of metamorphism, mineralogical composition, and also on the mode of origin. So the very general twofold classification based on the presence or absence of layered structure or the foliation are as follow, means foliated and the non-foliated. Depending upon the foliation, and the metamorphic rocks are divided into two types: foliated rocks and non-foliated. So foliated means what? Foliated rocks, when the pressure squeezes the flat or elongated minerals within a rock, so they become aligned. These rocks develop a platy or sheet-like structure that reflects the direction that pressure was applied in. The examples of these foliated rocks are slates, phylite, sheets, gneisses are of great variety are the examples of this foliated metamorphic rock. So here is the figure which is showing the foliated rock. The slate and the sheets are there. Okay, so so foliation generally shows the dynamothermal metamorphism in the coarse grained igneous rock. The segregation of the minerals in an alternating manner we can see in this foliated rocks. Okay, so different layers are there. Okay, they are one above other. They are called as then foliated rocks. Next is the means the layer structure we can see in the foliated rock. Now our second type is the non-foliated. Non-foliated metamorphic rocks are formed around the igneous intrusions where the temperature are high but the pressure are relatively low and equal in all the directions. Okay, so in these groups, the metamorphic rocks are characterized with total or nearly total absence of the foliation. Okay, so the foliation is absent in the non-foliated rocks. In the figure, you can see that the white marble is an example of this non-foliated rocks. Here we are not the layer structure is absent over here, means the foliation is totally absent in this type of the rock. Then these are called as an non-foliated rock. The examples of this non-foliated rocks is white marble, quartzite, amphibolites, okay, soapstone. These are the examples of this non-foliated rock. Now move towards the next point. The textures of this metamorphic rock. Textures of this metamorphic rock are divided into two types: crystalloblastic and palimpsest. Okay, so crystalloblastic means what? The texture which include all the structure which have been newly imposed upon the rock during the process of metamorphism. Okay, and are therefore essentially the product of metamorphism. This is all about the crystalloblastic, first type of the texture of this metamorphic rock. And second is the palimpsest. The textures that include the texture which are present in the parent rock and have been retained by the rock despite metamorphic changes in the other aspect. Okay, so the palimpsest textures are similar in the essential details in the parent rock, with the little or no modification taking place during the metamorphism. Okay, this is the second type of the texture of this metamorphic rock. Now our next point is the structure of metamorphic rock. Structures of metamorphic rock. So first type of the structure is cataclastic structure. Second is the schistose structure. Third one is the genesis. Next is in maculose. And last type of the structure is the granulose. Okay, now we will see each type of the structure in detail. First is an cataclastic structure. Cataclastic structure, it produces under the stress and in the absence of high temperature, whereby the rocks are subjected to the shearing and fragmentation. Only the durable minerals partly survive the crushing force and the less durable ones are powdered. Thus, when the resistant minerals and the rock fragments stand out in the pseudo-porphyritic manner in the finer materials, these are known as an porphyroclastic structure. Okay, when the rocks are highly crushed into the grain rocks, they are called as an myelonites. And since all these structures are formed due to the cataclasis, they are called as an cataclastic structure. Here is a figure which is showing the cataclastic structure. Okay, our next type of the structure is the maculose structure. Second type of the structure is the maculose structure. It is produced by the thermal metamorphism of argillaceous rocks like shell. Okay, so maculose structure is produced by the thermal metamorphism. Here the layers crystals of the cardiorite and the biotite are sometimes well developed, giving the spotted appearance to the rocks. The well-developed crystals known as porphyroblasts, with increasing degree of the metamorphism, the spotted slates pass into the extremely fine grain granular rock known as an hornfels. The figure are showing the macular structure. Okay, these macular structures are characterized by the spotted appearance of the rock. In the figure you can see the spotted appearance in the rock. This is due to the formation of large size crystal. Okay, such a type of the appearance is due to the formation of large size crystals within otherwise fine grained rock. This structure is typical product of the thermal metamorphism. Macular structure is the typical product of the thermal, means the contact metamorphism. It is result generally due to the incomplete recrystallization of the constituent material. The spotted appearance is due to the incomplete recrystallization of the constituent minerals. Okay, so these are the rocks which are not melt. Okay, they are not changes, and because of this they are showing the spotted appearance. Okay, so this is the all about the maculose structure. Next type of the structure is schistose structure. Here, the platy or flaky minerals like macos and other inequidimensional minerals show a preferred orientation along the parallel planes under the effect of stress dominating during the metamorphism. The longer the directions are parallel to the direction of maximum stress. Schistosity is the property or tendency of an foliated rock whereby it can be readily split into the foliation plate. Here is the figure which is showing the schistose structure. The rock with the schistose structure is made up of broadly parallel or subparallel layers. In the figure you can see that the different layers are there. Okay, so they are maybe parallel or subparallel layers, or the bands of flaky, platy or rod-like minerals, making it very weak in the direction of parallelism. Okay, the different parallel layers we can see in the figure. The rocks named as schist typically showing the such a type of the structure. Schistose structure is shown by the schist. Okay, the rock which has name schist is showing such type of the structure. Next type of the structure is an genesis structure. Genesis structure. A gneiss structure. It is a banded structure due to alternation of schistose, dark color, and granulose of light colored bands, and is produced by the highest grade of the metamorphism. Okay, typically by the regional metamorphism. The bands differ from another in the color, texture, and the mineral composition. Here is the figure which is showing the gneiss structure. In this structure we can see that the different bands are there. Okay, or we can say the bands or the folia of platy or flaky minerals alternate with those of the equidimensional or the granular minerals. Okay, the bands are there in the rocks. They are having a different colors. Their mineral composition is also different. Texture is different. Colors different. Okay, means these bands are generally of contrasting colors, then composition, texture. This genesis structure texture is indicative of an advanced degree of the metamorphism under combined action of high temperature, pressure, and the active participation of the fluid. Okay, genesis structure showing the bands, okay, of different color, texture and structure. Okay, such a type of the um, rocks showing the genesis structure. Then our next type of the structure is granulose. Granulose structure. This is found in the rocks composed of equidimensional minerals like quartz, feldspar, pyroxenes. Granular structures are found in the rocks which are composed of equidimensional minerals like quartz, feldspar and pyroxene. They are formed by the recrystallization of pre-existing rocks under uniform pressure and the great heat. Granular structures are formed by the recrystallization of pre-existing rocks under the uniform pressure and great heat. This typical texture is coarsely granuloblastic. The structure is also known as quartzites or marbles are the typical examples of such a type of the structure. Here is the figure which is showing the granulose structure. Marble, then quartzites are the examples of this granulose structure. This structure is characterized by the essentially a granular character of the constituent minerals. Foliation is completely absent or negligible in such a type of the structure. Rocks with the granular structure are termed as granulites. The rocks which are showing such a type of the granular structure are called as granulites. Okay, the foliation is completely absent in the such a type of the structure. Okay, so here up to here we have completed the different types of the structure. Now our next point is the importance of the metamorphic rock. The examples of these metamorphic rocks are slate, then sheets, then gneiss, then quartzite, marble, then phyllite, hornfels are the examples of the metamorphic rock. Now we will see each one in detail. So first one type of the metamorphic rock is an slate. The slate is the fine grain, impermeable and cleavable soft. Okay. The definition we will see the definition of the slate. Slate is an extremely fine grain metamorphic rock and characterized by the slaty cleavage. Okay, the slate showing the slaty cleavage means by virtue of it can be readily split into thin sheets having parallel smooth surfaces. The slaty cleavage is due to the parallel arrangement of the platy and the flaky minerals of the slate under the dominant stresses due to the during the process of the metamorphism. Okay, the slaty cleavage is due to the parallel arrangement of the minerals, means the flaky or platy minerals, and their arrangement is in the parallel form under the dominant stresses operation during the process of the metamorphism. Okay, then the mineralogical composition. Now we will see the mineralogical composition of the slate. The slate is made up of very fine flakes of the mica, chloride and the microscopic grains of the quartz, feldspar, iron oxide, many other minerals. Okay, the origin of this slate is it is the product of low grade regional metamorphism of argillaceous rocks like clay and slates. Okay, the slates are formed by the clays and the shells. Means the parent rock of the slates are clays and the shells. Next is the gneisses. Gneisses rocks are rich in the silica, predominantly quartz and the feldspar, along with the garnet, pyroxene, hornblende. Now we will see the composition of these gneisses, which is rich in the minerals of parent rock that are simply crystallized during the process of metamorphism. Feldspar and the quartz are the common in the gneisses than the schist. Then this genesis is an foliated metamorphic rock, which is characterized by the segregation of constituent minerals into the layers or the bands of the constructing colors. Next one is an quartzite. Next type is the quartzite. These quartzites are the granular metamorphic rock which is composed of the intersaturated grains of the quartz. Okay, so the quartzite is formed from the quartz. The parent rock is quartz. And the name orthoquartzite is used for the sedimentary rock of the similar composition but having a different origin, in which the quartz grains are cemented together by the siliceous cement. The composition of this quartzite now we will see. Beside the quartz, the rock generally contains a subordinate amount of micas, feldspar, garnets, and some amphiboles, which results in the recrystallization of some impurities of the original sandstone. The quartzite is used generally uh, hard, strong, dense, and uniformly grained. Means this quartzite is generally very hard, strong, dense, and uniformly grade. It finds extensive use in the building and the road construction. At the time of the building and road construction, quartzites are used. Next is as a marble. Latin word marble means the shining stone, and from this Latin word the term marble is there. Okay, the means the marble is an essentially a granular metamorphic rock composed chiefly of recrystallized limestone. Okay, so the parent rock of this marble is an limestone. It is characterized by the granular structure, but the grain size shows the considerable variation in the different varieties. The various types of the marble are distinguished on the basis of their color, composition, and the structure. Okay, the marbles are available in different colors, composition, and the texture. White marble, pink marble, black marble are known on the basis of their colors, which is basically due to the fine dispersion of some impurity. Means colors are due to the presence of impurity in the parent rock. Dolomitic marble is the variety distinguished on the basis of composition. It may show slowly the schistose structure. This marble is formed from the contact metamorphism of carbonate group of the sedimentary rocks. Pure white marble results from the pure limestone. Colored marbles from those limestones that have some impurities. Dolomites marbles from the magnesium limestone. This marble is formed from the limestone. The white marble is the result of pure limestone. If some impurities are present in the limestone, then the colored marbles are formed. Okay. So this is all about the metamorphic rocks. So in this lecture we have seen what is meant by the metamorphism. Okay, next we have seen the composition, mineralogical composition of the metamorphic rocks, textures and the structures of the metamorphism. Okay, and then we will see, we have studied the some important metamorphic rocks. Okay, hope you have understand all this. Thank you.